Hey guys, Midway Piper back with you today. Today is going to be another Pipes and Books and quick discussion about conversation, shall we say, I had over the last 2 days. So, first things first, housekeeping as usual. I have my Chris Harriet little nose warmer pot pipe with that beautiful stem. Look at that. Yeah. Great rustication on that as well. Gnarly looking thing. Contrast rim. And in it, since we're talking about books, why not smoke something that has a flavor profile reminiscent of old books? Father Dempsey. It's back in stock in bulk, so I want to give it another quick smoke to make sure I do want to go ahead and order a bit of it. So here we are. So as far as what I've been reading business goes, there's nothing super new or novel here. Get it? Novel. Anyways, still reading the same books for the most part. Made progress in all of them, so that's something. So, 2 of these books are by the same author. I think I've sung his praises enough times for this series, The Shadow of the Wind. This is the short stories collection from that series, so book 5 out of 4, essentially. So made some progress in that book, almost halfway through that. It's nice because you can just sit down and read a short story from the world, and most of them are around 10 pages or so. There are a couple longer ones, but it's nice to be able to sit down and read through a short story of that in one sitting, so that's always good. As you'll see in just a moment, I am reading several books at once, so if I can wrap up a little section in a go and not stop mid-chapter, that's ideal. The other book in that series, the 4th one, is Beastie. It's a big boy. Getting there. About 75% done with this book. The 4th book in that series, The Labyrinth of the Spirits. 800 pages or so. This is the book that wraps up the series. So I've mentioned in previous videos, the first 3 books were all great. The first one was a fantastic piece of literature as far as I'm concerned. It was a phenomenal book. The second one was absolutely phenomenal as well, with I guess what we'll call one of the most unreliable narrators I've ever had the joy of reading. I think that's a good way to describe it. Book 3 sort of brings books 1 and 2 together a little bit. It's not a very long book. Certainly none of them are anywhere near as long as this. And then this book, it adds on to the others, but it's also got a full another story in it. This is easily a couple, what I would normally classify as a couple of individual stories or novels on their own, but it's all together, and when you think things are getting wrapped up, there's a plot twist that you may or may not have seen coming. Some of them I was just like, oh, can't believe that happened. Others I'm like, yeah, there's something about this character. very well written. It has been a joy reading through this book, and again the entire series. And you can see it in my past videos, but yeah, it's a 4-book series. Highly recommend this author right here. It's such a shame. This is I guess he passed away in 2010 maybe, or something of the sort. So what we have from him is what we have from him, which is a real shame. I mean, they're great books. I would highly recommend any of them to anyone, but it's a shame that there won't be any more coming. I believe, so far as when he was alive, he refused to sell movie rights, because he thought that these stories are something best left in the reader's imagination, and not necessarily didn't want a movie version being made, which would sort of set in stone some things that he would rather leave open to the reader. So I don't know if there's an expiration on that or what. I would love to see movies of these books made. To be honest, I think they'd be fantastic movies. But, you know, I can also respect and understand his wishes as well in regards to that. Second to last, I'm still dipping in and out of Burial of the Rats short stories by Bram Stoker. Some of them have been really good. Others have been kind of, what did I just read? Yeah, almost halfway through the book, I guess. Beautiful cover, though. And finally, I mentioned this book as well. I didn't have a copy of it before because I'm reading it on my Kindle, but I did finally get a copy of it, and I'm glad I did, just for nothing else but the cover alone. Murdering Van Gogh. What a great cover. So this is sort of some historical fiction about the life of Vincent van Gogh. You know, maybe a quarter of the way through the book. Like I said, I'm reading that on my Kindle, so it's just a little bit before bed each night. And sort of like their short story book, the chapters in here are kind of pretty bite-sized. So I can normally just jump through a chapter a night in that book without too much struggle. So yeah, that's what I'm reading. So last night for Valentine's Day, we did not go out to eat. Went to the grocery store in the morning and got a nice skirt steak, which those things are pretty pricey. But it's one of my wife's favorite cuts. And so marinated that in the morning, grilled it, and we had that for dinner last night. So that was good. And yeah, just ran some errands this morning. We've got snow coming tonight, possibly some ice as well afterwards. So I'll be up early tomorrow morning to clean all that up and then get to work as my road becomes passable. So that's the plan for all of that stuff. Now, the other thing I want to talk about real quick is in a way, I'm kind of getting tired of harping on this subject, but it's an important one, I think, especially in this day and age of social media. So I'm gonna slightly move this. Hold on a second. Okay. Back foot of the tripod was hanging off the table. wouldn't have been good. So someone that I used to, she's a retired teacher, and she wasn't ever my teacher, but at work I had done some work with her in the past, and I knew we didn't necessarily really agree on everything, for sure. But as you guys know, Kennedy got confirmed for Secretary of HHS, and she went on a rant about how dangerous he is for the country and how horrible things are going to be now that he's in charge of healthcare of the country, and blah 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 blah. You know, all the typical lefty arguments. So, you know, in her echo chamber world, that is her Facebook friends, everyone was jumping on board, agreeing with it, and I probably could have just kept my mouth shut and not said anything, but I I guess I decided to stir the pot a little bit, and I said I, for one, couldn't be happier about this decision. And, you know, shocked face emojis and all that nonsense, and she said some passive-aggressive things in the past, and her response to me on my comment was, why am I not surprised by why is she not surprised by my opinion on that? And I said, wow, what's that supposed to mean? Again, very indirect, passive-aggressive stuff said in the past, never really directly attacking. So I wanted to, you know, see if she'd actually say anything. And she didn't. But some of her friends really got on there and thought they were going to get me. And, you know, the typical response of, oh, this, that, the other conspiracy theories that he believes. Okay. Cool. First of all, he doesn't believe most of those that the media keeps saying. And so my response was, essentially, you know, good job believing the conspiracy theories that the media's put out. But if you actually pulled your head out of mainstream media's ass, you would, and actually, you know, research what he says, you would realize that it was taken out of context. As per usual. And then I pretty much said, you know, I think this is absolutely fantastic because I want a healthier food supply. I want my son to have the opportunities to have a healthier life. I don't want, you know, all the things that that Kennedy pretty much stands for, you know. And mind you, this one lady that I responded to initially, she was a high school science teacher. So when Fauci says, believe the science, it's good. But when Kennedy says it, no, that's not the science. So that's how I responded to that lady. And that lady's response back to me was, I sort of agree with you about the food situation. However, isn't that under the purview of the FDA? You should get your departments correct. Do you see the problem? So I kindly responded to her and said, I have my department straight. You see, the FDA and the NIH, both, among other departments, fall under HHS. So when I say, and when Kennedy says that he wants to fix those things, yeah, FDA is part of it. They fall under. To which her response was, "I see we're not going to agree. Have a good night." And my response was, "You too." We got to make sure we're a little bit educated on what we're talking about before it just starts spouting off. It's easy to have an opinion on things. Everybody's got an opinion or multiple opinions. I think we've all heard all the sayings about that. But just try to make sure you have an idea of what you're talking about before you say it. That's all I'm saying. You know, a lot of you guys are here as part of the YTPC, and there's a lot of channels that spend a lot of time talking about flavor profiles and all the different tastes and flavors they get out of each tobacco. And I'm gonna be honest, my taste is not that well developed. I can tell you if I like something, if I don't like something, if it's a sort of a harsh flavoring, if there's something I just don't like about it. And again, everyone's taste is different as well. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm getting a hint of this, that, or the other thing. There are guys that are really good at that. Paladin, you keep it up. But I'll watch a Paladin video and I'll be like, that sounds amazing. And I'll go and smoke some of it. And I'm like, I didn't get that. And that's a me problem. I don't have that developed of a taste yet for these things. Which is why you don't get those kind of comments out of me on this channel. So I kind of stick to my wheelhouse, know what know what I'm qualified to talk about, what I'm not qualified to talk about, and you know, I think it's important that that we just accept our limitations, and if you want to get better at something, sure, go ahead. You know, I'm picking up flavors in some of these mixes that I didn't get before. So going back and trying some of those blends, there's very few that I've smoked and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm never doing that one again. I'll put them off to the side. And I've got a little area where I keep the tobaccos that I'm not fond of. Then after a couple months, I'll go back to them and try them again. See if I like them any better or not. Some of them just age, taste better with age. So one of the things I found actually with Burley's is I couldn't really appreciate Burley's very much until I've been diving deeper into them lately. I had Velvet. Thoroughly unimpressed with it the first time. Tried it again. Not too bad. So, you know, it's good to go back and try them again and see how your taste develop over time. But, you know, when I talk about book reviews, obviously everyone's got a different preference for types of books, genres, what they're looking for in a book. But I've read a lot of books, and what I'm looking for in a book might not be what you're looking for. But you know, I'm currently reading 4 books at once, and that's not unusual in any way. So I can't help but hope that makes me a little more qualified to talk about books than someone who's never or hasn't read, you know, a handful of books in the last couple of years. You know, as far as politics goes, Again, I don't know everything about politics, but I ran the full gamut. I used to be in my youth. I identified as a Democrat. Then I identified as a Green Party member. Then I identified as a Republican. As real life started to happen, shall we say. And now there's still more of a Republican leaning, but I would classify myself more as an independent. But of course, when you identify as anything other than one of the two major parties, you have no say in primaries and all that kind of stuff. So, it is what it is. So I can understand several different points of view, politically speaking. I'm just at a place in my life now where, I look at the Democratic Party and what they, supposedly stand for, and I see a whole bunch of schemy little fools, to put it nicely. You see that Kamala Harris is somehow leading the polls for, not that anything's been decided yet, but for potential governor of California coming up in their next election. That's shocking to me. I mean, I knew she was one of the least qualified candidates to ever run for president, I think. But everything that's come out after the fact of just how unqualified she is. And to see that, potentially California is looking to nominate her as governor. Then again, they keep electing Newsom, so, whatever. New York is a joke. Leading the polls for New York City as of now is Andrew Cuomo, the disgraced ex-governor. There's a rumor of him throwing his hat in the ring to be mayor of New York City, and he's leading that poll somehow, so that's disturbing in a whole nother way. There are Republicans in New York City just gave their nomination to Curtis Sliwa, who ran the last time and got his ass kicked. If you think Trump is unpolished, you should see this guy. Has he done some good things for New York City? Sure. But massively unpolished. And again, that's not everything, but it does count for something. He got. I mean, Adams wiped the floor with him in that election. So if it didn't work the first time, we're gonna try it a second time. I don't know. But again, not that I have much hope for New York City ever. So. I don't know. Doge is continuing to do their thing. And they're working their way through to the Department of the Interior right now, and a lot of job cuts coming to National Park System, which, that's something that's kind of dear to my heart. So that's kind of hard to see. You know, you can cheer when it's a department that you don't care about, or when it's happening in an department you do care about. It's hard. So, you know, part of me wonders with all these job cuts and whatnot, you know, is this to purge out a part of the department that's, you know, not well liked? I don't know. Are they going to come through and do new hires again? I don't know. I mentioned him in a previous video. He's got a YouTube podcast, Brian McClanahan. You know, his take on it is that, you know, this talk of cutting government agencies down and whatnot, there's a very good possibility that they're just going to be sort of rearranging the deck chairs. You know, talk of getting rid of the Department of Education, but probably just rolling that into another department. I don't know. We will see. We will see. These are some of the, in normal cases we call it growing pains. I think in this case we'll call it shrinking pains. So I don't know. We will see what happens coming down the line. But right now we're in the purging phase, and I don't know. We will see how things go. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't have too much else to talk about. This video's gone on for quite long enough. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are. Do you guys stick around and watch these whole videos, or you watch the first like 10 minutes and then cut out? Let me know in the comments if I should be shortening these down and maybe break them into different topics instead of covering it all in one longer format. The way I'm viewing it currently is I'm out here smoking my pipe, and I could do a 10-minute video, but pipe, even a small one, lasts longer than 10 minutes. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Happy to make adjustments and accommodate as if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So that being said, we'll call this video quits for today. I'll be doing snow cleanup tomorrow and going to work and doing that all day, so probably won't have a video tomorrow. But yeah, I'll see you when I see you. Have a good one, and talk to you guys later. Bye.